final day of the International. 9 class bringing out this Void Spirit. And obviously on the side of Xtreme Gaming, we're getting an Arme PL. I think we saw the stat, it's only been picked once in this tournament. Did not win.
Nope.
Arme, he's ready to try and show us how it's done.
I mean, we're in for a treat here, right? We have masterminds, of course, from both coaches, but so many iconic heroes coming in. Even though, like you said, we don't see the PL too much, a lot of these players do love to play it. It just unfortunately doesn't work in a lot of situations nowadays. But we're in for a treat for sure. Look at all the team fight we've got, Owen. Some of these games, they've gone, I mean, most of these games have gone quite long. And if this one does go long, holy moly, look at the wombo combos that can come in, right? We've got Exort Invoker, so we have the potential for the Cataclysms later on with Black Hole. And then, of course, from the side of XG, Fatal Bonds with the Dawnbreaker, with the SF. Let's see who can execute better.
And talking about some of these other heroes that we haven't really been seeing too much, you know, Xingqiu has had some insane games yesterday. He was popping off time and time again. Definitely giving them the confidence to bring in something that we just haven't been seeing that much as well, the Nyx Assassin. I mean, why haven't we been seeing this hero? And what do you think's made it this game for the one that Xingqiu said, hey, give me the Nyx Assassin?
I think Panel touched on it pretty well there, right? They were trying to cover and make sure that this Dawnbreaker can have a good time, but also with what he had seen already, he saw the ET and the Invoker. So a pretty good matchup in terms of mid-game and late-game for that Nyx Assassin to disrupt combos. Top lane.
So we're going to be able to trade back pretty nicely here with the punches of Ducalis.
And you were asking also, sorry, why we don't see it as much. The weak lane, right? That's just what's always been the case. After they removed the Mind Flare, one-shotting those creeps to have that recovery outlet, it did make it a lot more difficult to play the Nyx Assassin in some situations.
And the PL, so why are other carries not touching this hero? It feels like they're not even considering it. I mean, we heard from Astini, right? He himself didn't have a lot of faith in this hero. So he's, of course, going to be watching with it feels like the rest of the world to just see what PL can do as a carry in this day and age.
On paper, we've seen, especially in pubs, it's been running rampant. It's winning a ton of games just because once the game gets to these later stages, it can be very difficult just to deal with these illusions. You tend to just run out of steam with your draft, which could potentially happen if this PL gets too far ahead or if the game gets too late and the Lifestealer isn't ahead in particular, right? It could be pretty problematic. There's ways to stop the Black Hole. There's ways to prevent the Invoker from getting spells off as XXS.
They're going to have the Sunstrike. It's going to connect onto Xingqiu. Got the Spike Carapace up with the Blood Grenade. That'll do it to Ducalis. Laying down the Blood Grenades here to get that first blood secured.
A very, very strong lane that PVISION has set themselves up top. Pretty much completely countering the Dawn and the Nyx in terms of laning phase.
Yeah, it certainly feels like it. I mean, we're seeing, right, you know, XXS and Xingqiu, they can step up, drop their spells, but if the burst of those combos doesn't get the kill, the right clicks and the chase down from Ducalis and Satanic, it feels like it's going to win out pretty much all the time.
It really should, honestly. The problem with Nyx Assassin, like we were saying with the laning phase, he hates laning versus strength melee heroes.
Yep.
It just is the case.
He's got to be a bit cautious here. Getting caught, stepped up, the Sunstrike off the mark,
close.
But he will still be chased out here.
And look at Xingqiu, he's hugging XXS with the Carapace to try to reflect that Sunstrike back. Off the mark there slightly though, no one. As we get the chance to look at these other lanes, XM versus no one, having a very good time so far. And same thing for bottom. We're seeing that PL, Ame, feeling no threat versus the Void Spirit and the Enigma so far here. As I don't think he will. That's probably why they also wanted this PL. They see the lane, it's a Void Spirit Enigma, and they have a Warlock, which is going to keep him completely sustained in the lane. So Ame is set up for success to get that farm.
Overall, if he does get this good start, hits these timings as the PL, you know, how well kitted out is PVISION's lineup to deal with a farmed Phantom Lancer in the later stages of the game?
Later, in very late game, it can be very problematic. The one really good thing that they have is the ET and the Invoker combos, right? ET, we saw yesterday what Natural Order can do in later stages, especially when you're versus a hard agility carry, since it puts you to 0 for that armor if you don't have any plus armor. So can make a difference for a Lifestealer to focus fire, and also the spells are going to clear those illusions maybe a bit easier than some other games.
As a Sin in the mid, no one doing well to be able to match the last hits really of XM, but overall the pressure from XM continuously keeping the wave shoved in. It's getting to the point now where he's starting to get a few hits onto that tower. So rotation coming in from 9 class.
This top lane, XXS is getting 0 CS. He's at 9-1, he was at 8-1 2 minutes ago, and immediately they're just constantly pushing him off the lane, so the problem of that dual lane, dual melee,
it's going to be a rough start for him. It's almost to the point where it's going to require some sort of big play to happen as soon as he hits the 6 so he can get involved somewhere else and pick up some action.
No, absolutely.
From this lane, unlikely to be finding anything too much with how Ducalis and Satanic are playing it against him.
And we do have to mention, right, Xingqiu and XXS kind of have been pretty strong dictators of mid-game.
They've crushed a lot of lanes.
They've been amazing in a lot of these games to get XG to a good purpose.
Yeah,
and if XXS has no game...
Sunstrike coming in.
He might...
He's right-clicked with Ducalis.
Super close to dying there. Ducalis having boots and windlace already this early is proving to be very problem. This is a level 3 Dawnbreaker, Owen.
This has got to be one of the roughest starts we've seen XXS have here on the main stage, right?
I think it's the roughest start in the entire tournament that I've seen from him so far. So that lane in particular looking fantastic for PVISION.
Oh yeah, Satanic is having an absolute dream of a time. Still in the mid. Xingqiu able to make himself useful as he turns up, helps out XM take out a kill on Ducalis.
So far, 9 class, literally just been stacking neutrals. He's just running around. He was trying to manipulate creep waves, but now it's just been the stack game. DM, the nice thing about this Enigma pick versus the PL and the Warlock is it's a very passive lane from PL Warlock, so DM isn't getting sacked down here, even though this, the Void Spirit isn't really doing too much just yet. As we see no one, put the point in the Wex, he'll meteor the camp, and they'll give the Void Spirit the mid lane to make sure that 9 class can get something at the least here. But he won't get any CS.
And talking about 9 class, obviously this was expected that he was going to be trying something different after his sort of 2 main roaming melee supports that he has been winning game after game on get banned out. In this case, of course, being the Monkey King and the Slark. Do you sort of see the concept behind the support Void Spirit?
Not as much as some of the other options that we have seen. I think there's some interesting potential with the Call of the Void that is untested, but we'll have to see.
Battle for the Wisdom. We're going to have Satanic and Ducalis pushing on. TP's coming in. XXS, he's going to get taken out. XM will turn up to make sure that PVISION pay for this one, but not before they take out a second kill, PVISION. I mean, they're going to have to try and deal with Satanic, but he's still not that easy to take out, as he's going to be able to step across. He's got Infest at the ready, so he'll be able to hop into the creep. XM at least will secure the Shrine of Wisdom for them, but the Sunstrike coming in. Satanic essentially getting the cleanup on what pretty much was, 4 heroes that he's getting the XP from. I mean, they may have got the XP from the Wisdom on XG, but overall, Satanic absolutely coming out on top of this.
That's a lot of extra health already for this Lifestealer.
And the game for XXS just continues to crumble.
That is an unbelievable start for this Lifestealer, and it's a hero, as we said, versus PL. You want to be ahead. He's going to have really good timing on this Radiance.
Oh, yeah.
Getting kills like that. The Lotus, as we saw coming into play massively, heals up his mana HP, has that creep, and wow. I
mean, that's huge. The tips coming out between the two of them, Satanic and Ducalis, because they know that they have absolutely crushed the start of this game in that top lane.
Absolutely, and DM, he's actually getting pressure on this bottom
This is a lot, 8 minutes in.
This is a phenomenal start for the side of PVISION, even though, as we said, Ame is having a free farm start. That death on XM hurts a ton. A tower drops. This is a crazy early game here so far from PVISION. Yeah, as you said, XXS, how's he going to recover? Level 4 Dawnbreaker, almost 9 minutes in. Rarely see this from these offlaners to get sacked this hard, to get punished this hard.
And if PVISION are able to sort of keep this pressure up and continue to grow this early game lead and start sort of taking these objectives off XG's side of the map, when you have a PL as the carry, like how early can Ame turn up, or how difficult will it be for him to get involved if sort of the time starts ticking and he has to?
He might just have to. I see he's going the defusal route, but we'll have to see, because it is Ame. Ame really does like to hit those creeps until he feels like he has that ideal timing, but yeah, we'll have to see, because this early game is devastating. PVISION able to maximize the farm, as we see no one. Dominator's finished. He's jungling. They're giving the Void Spirit the mid lane. They have pressure in the bottom lane for the Dominator, so they have the double Dominators already going.
Yeah.
So the farm is going to increase massively, and for the side of XG, making a rotation to Satanic, that's not possible. How are you going to kill this Lifestealer? At this point in the game, it's not going to happen.
I mean, Satanic is going to be a huge issue. The Radiance timing is going to be fantastic on Satanic.
Yeah.
And,
solo kill.
I'm going to just head over and take that down. Both Ame and XM not able to do anything to save their support in that situation.
This is a massive problem for the side of XG right now. DM is already starting to take over and swing toward
He's just ready to walk over. Gets the Eidolons out. No one's got the setup. Xingqiu, they'll try and run. The Cold Snap is going to stop his escape. Another kill for PVISION as they just continue to dominate this early game.
And look at the push, right? With the double dominators, with the Forge Spirits, they can really start to knock down this tower. And for XG, maybe not the best wave clear. They kind of have to take a fight if they want to try to defend this tower. Dawnbreaker has hit 6.
Okay.
So let's see the Solar Guardian.
See what happens here in the mid. With the setup, Solar Guardian's coming in. XM will survive for now.
Only just.
So they are able to keep the SF alive. Sunstrike's attempted, won't connect. But yeah, it does mean that they're not going to be able to try and look for an aggressive move around the Solar Guardian to try and give XXS that chance to catch back up in this game.
It's almost like they poked, forced it, and then just were like, okay, we got the Donald, back up, everybody farm again. 3K lead, first 11 minutes here. And I believe that is the Relic, essentially done for Satanic.
Got to be one of the faster Radiances, right, at this pace.
100%. I mean, and look at his health, right? I always try to factor this one in because of how much you get from the Feast. That's a lot at the 11-minute mark. He already has 1,400 HP on a Lifestealer with Phase and a Bracer.
And just the nature of the matchup as well, right? You can't be feeling good as the PL having to play a game into what's going to be such an early Radiance Lifestealer.
No, definitely not. Then, like you said, maybe there's no way that Ame wants to turn up until he has 1, 2, maybe even the third item in particular. And this is an unreal start. Level 9 as well, too, for Satanic. Have to point that one out, so... Being completely left alone, all 3 cores super high level.
Yeah, the last pick Lifestealer coming in very hard here from PVISION.
And they didn't punish, this lane bottom in particular, the Void Spirit plus the Enigma. There was nothing that happened to DM. So 9 class, he's 6, DM is 9, and as you said, the towers really getting pressured here.
No, they really are. And of course, on the other side of things, you look at PVISION's towers. The middle's taken a little bit of damage, but the side lanes, they've barely been touched at all.
Yeah.
So the pressure really adding up here against XG in the early game.
And just not easy for XM and for XG in particular to set up a team fight, right? Because there is a lot of annoying abilities on the side of PVISION that are just fantastic at countering these fights. The ET, one of the best counter initiators, and the Invoker, if he's not caught in the initial go, he's gonna get his spell combo
Little
off.
timings as well, 9 class able to back up, pick up a lot of bounties.
Big money. 4K lead continues to grow. No one purchasing up the drums as well, too. Very early timings here.
Maybe if they can get sort of the supports, 6s online for where Xinkyu's got his available now, and Xnova, of course, has the option with the Grimoire. They can definitely try and piece together a team fight to sort of slow down what PVISION is accomplishing in this early stage.
If they get given the opportunity, right? PVISION is a team that really likes to play around controlling tempo, playing around these dominators until they have that ideal timing for a fight. So punishing these dominators, it feels very difficult. Look at the lanes.
And look at the timing. So yeah, Phase Boots Radiance, 13 minutes on Satanic this game.
Has to be the fastest, right?
Top tower is under attack.
XXS, nothing that he can do right now about this Lifestealer, and there we have it. Indeed, nearly 2 minutes faster than the fastest that we've seen so far.
Absolutely crazy.
Can Ame, with his PL, have the answer down the line to this incredibly stacked Lifestealer at such an early time?
They're going to have to play for that later stage for sure, it feels like. Unless Xingqiu can start to make some magic with the Vendetta, with the Solar Guardian to find pickoffs, but they have to be careful because their damage is going to be limited when they fall in behind this early game. If they go for a play, can definitely get countered as PVISION.
They know how strong they are. They're ready to stand here.
Scan comes out.
And bully XG potentially away from this Wisdom.
Top tower is under attack.
See, at the same time, though, Xinkyu's going to make his way over and try and take theirs. And he should get away with this unless there's quick TPs, but it doesn't look like it, so Xingqiu at least able to balance the situation there.
Nice and sneaky.
Another tower taken. The top one falls.
All
Sam
3.
has to take out his middle as well as it falls in deny range.
Right, all 3 tier 1s dropping, and lane pressure is definitely going to be an issue. As you see, Parrot, like PVISION can literally just kind of invisibly shove lanes with 2 heroes, with the Forge Spirits plus Dominator, and Lifestealer, as you said, feels pretty free to show on lanes. They can catch him with a very, very high execution combo if he has his Radiance on in the laning phase, a Carapace comes in and stuns, but it's very difficult with their limited damage. With this start, a 5K lead, and it's very early to have this.
Obviously, item timings that XG is going to be looking towards. Aghanims, obviously, on the Dawnbreaker, still a while away for XXS. And yeah, for the other 2 cores as well, both Ame and XM. Definitely no interest in turning up to a fight right now. So doing the best they can to scramble together that next bit of progression
Yeah, the question is really going to be is if they can land their wombo combo in a good way versus PVISION, and if that damage is going to be enough. Because it is significant with the Fatal Bonds, with the Requiem. Since PVISION is getting a lot out of the map, and these auras are going to soon start to be built up for TM.
Definitely a bit of a saving grace for them that they do have, you know, such a bountiful option of ways to stop the black hole, right? It's never going to be easy for DM to just get in, black hole, Arme's PL, give Satanic the chance to kill him off. They will always have the opportunity to stop that.
Yeah, I don't think he'll build too much for the black hole this game, right? He'll build the auras so that he can just tank up his team, I'd imagine, since there is 2 BKB piercing disables in particular that can just completely counter him in terms of black hole. XM, Yashikaya is finished. As we said, though, difficult for him to get the combo off because of the ET plus the Invoker little mini stuns can cause some difficulties. But with this amp damage...
Yeah, we might see something happen here. They're looking towards the top tower.
Let's see if they want to try to at least get that tower, like you said, because so
I guess the question
not
is,
able to hit towers.
If you're PVISION, do you feel strong enough that you're turning up for these tier 1 defenses?
I think they absolutely can, right? With the ET, they have insane counter initiation.
Yes, they're smoking and coming through the twin gate. So if XG do want to try and push for this, it will absolutely go answered by PVISION.
DM has the pipe finished. So a lot of that damage, in particular XM, who is the majority of the early game, might just get answered.
I think if you're XG, you do not want to walk into this right now. PVISION very, very ready for any sort of fight.
They want to take the fight themselves. They see X-Nova.
They're going to make the quick jump. They get the grab here. 9 class able to set up. That's X-Nova gone.
More HP for Satanic. That's that pipe being delivered. They can start to threaten Roche with all those summons. It does feel like they can start to poke that with the Forge Spirit, with the double dominators. The ward is prepared though, so XG wasn't the ready that this move can potentially happen.
Maybe if they had the Warlock up, I mean, we'll be back up, of course, in 5 seconds, but is that going to be soon enough for them to feel that they can try for some sort of risky play around the pit?
Does Xingqiu try for a potential steal play with a Golem and then just running in?
I think it might be tempting.
Let's see what they want to do here.
Let's have a look. Can they get the timing here, XG? Xingqiu. He's going to try and get in, but indeed the dust is there. Put the spike carapace, but they've got the control with the tornado and the ice wall. PVISION, they'll get the kill, they'll get the Roshan, and they'll get the Aegis. They get everything.
They are just so ready for every single one of the moves. Decent attempt there from XG, but going to be answered immediately. Manta finished up for Ame, so he hasn't died yet. He is getting that farm. It's just the differential between him and Satanic. You know, Satanic is going to have that matchup versus him.
I mean, it's going to be exciting to see. Will it get to the point where Ame does turn up and he's just sort of able to take the game on his shoulders as a PL, as you know, the PL of age back in the day? This hero used to be able to do that, folks.
For sure. We'll just have to see, because the fact, have to factor in the Invoker spells, which have traditionally been pretty good, and just the ET aura, how much that's going to be able to do also, versus the PL of buffing up the Radiance and the overall physical damage if he can actually get on top of them.
It's not going to be easy. I mean, that's true. You would even consider that if this PL was kind of back at prime PL stages in the past, this would not be an easy draft still to defeat.
No. Definitely not.
So Ame, he's definitely got his work cut out here.
Lightstealer, it's a pretty good matchup versus PL in terms of like mid and early game, even toward later stages if you are ahead. And he is keeping himself in a good margin ahead, and he has a lot of team fights surrounding him.
Just under 4 minutes here to play with the Aegis. Almost certainly expect the PVISION will be eyeing up these tier 2 towers.
Looking to continue constricting the map, as they've gotten all the pressure on these buildings. XG, next item is finished, so XM Blink is done. But as you said, it's not easy for him to get the combos off versus all the disables.
Stepping up, gets caught underneath the vision. They get the setup here with the remnants. XXS will try and drag himself out with the hammer.
He's gone.
But he is gone indeed. Another kill for PVISION. As they just have to be so careful how close they get. PVISION will immediately make the jump in numerous ways, keep the pressure on. Fortification comes out momentarily, but PVISION, they're not going anywhere. They'll stick around, take out this tier 2 20 minutes in.
And no one, he's got the Aghanims already done. And as we said, he did go the Exort facet this time around, so the Cataclysm potential is there.
Is under attack.
Absurd amount of
the mid 9 class.
XM.
It's ready to start playing around. The Remnant will miss, and XM does get the chance to grab that Xtreme. He's trying to fight back against 9 class, but doesn't want to head up to the high ground.
Off the mark with it. If he clips, if he gets him with that there, he's dead. Very likely, XM. Perhaps getting a little lucky, the 9 class does not connect with that rim.
They're going to try and do something and get Arme involved.
Let's see what they can get. It's been a very quiet game.
Yeah, this seems like a risky play, but again, I really feel in the position that XG have, they have to try something like this to catch PVISION by surprise. They'll find Ducalis. TPs are coming in. Ducalis, he's going to get buffed up by the pipe. He's fine, and now they're ready to turn. The Satanic is going to try and find the real Arme. They're going to grab him with the rev, and they've caught the real one. Solar Guardian heal coming in, but Satanic able to stay on top of the PL. Arme is gone. The Black Hole will be cancelled. They have the stun follow up as well, but XXS goes down. Satanic falls the once, but he's going to be ready for round 2. Xingqiu desperately trying to TP out. He'll make it away. But PVISION, as expected with the situation of the game so far, they take these fights so easily. Xtreme, they try and get Arme involved. Ducalis will end up dying to the Tormentor. Gets rewarded, though, for his efforts there with the Shard. But it's just so hard to enter into these team fights as the PL. They've got the wave clear, and they've got this just incredibly farmed Satanic Lifestealer staying on top of you the entire fight.
As soon as the Solar Guardian comes out too, Enigma can cast that black hole. As we see, he's got positioning for it. Even if it's just a second or two, it's enough. As they try, I mean, the starting on Ducalis isn't bad there, that positioning, but he's got the whole backup of the team. XM's Requiem does next to nothing, and yeah, a fantastic fight again. The Splitter as well, I believe, caught, what, 3 heroes coming through there.
I mean, these sort of fights, for XG to come out on top, they have to be perfect. They have to almost sort of find a pick-off before the fight starts. And we did see them attempt that there, but they just couldn't kill Ducalis.
Nope. And the Aegis coverage there, even though Satanic did die once, he's right back. And I think they took a gem as well there too, right? I think it was purchased. Oh, actually, they recovered it, sorry. X-Nova was able to recover his gem. But Satanic got, what, 2 more kills out of that fight also? So I'm just going to keep looking at that bonus HP. He has so much health to really go through here when they are behind.
Perfect game so far from him. 5-0-5 on the Lifestealer.
Full SNY finished up too. How do you bring this man down?
Another tower to be taken.
And XG, they were trying to really fight around that Tormentor timing just to prevent that extra gain from PVISION, but immediately stopped in their tracks again. Blink, Xingqiu, getting closer. When he has Blink, then they can actually look for plays on these side lanes a little easier as well too with XM. If they do see someone split up. The problem is that PVISION isn't really splitting too much now. Feeling their power of grouping up.
Trying to get the catch onto XXS there, top.
Off the mark.
And the space is there for them to continue taking these towers. As all tier 2s now taken, 23 minutes in.
And only 1 tower that XG's been able to bring down. Yeah, this PVISION early game is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah,
they're even knocking on the high ground already.
We've not been seeing this a lot in this tournament. 23 minutes in. This is very, very early.
There's no golem. Okay, it does come back up now. So they force people back, and then they go back and actually just farm, and potentially even look for a catch. See, 9 class and no one. Looking for a setup.
And they're going to catch onto the illusions, though. Oh, maybe not. A 9 class. He's got the read. Arme's going to try and turn. He's going to try and bait them out with the micro. It's going to work. PVISION, they won't try and search any longer, so Arme gets out.
Does TP back to base, though. This gets sent all the way back. I just keep looking at these lanes, and every time XG looks to get out on the map, look at the positioning. Top, Dominator plus Eidolons. Mid, Dominator plus Forge Spirits for a second. Bottom also shoved in, so difficult for Xingqiu to make a move, which isn't kind of telegraphed, right? Because they're going to see all these lanes shoved in, and they're like, yeah, okay, they're trying to perhaps make a move since nobody's shoving those lanes out.
Xingqiu trying to just get some information.
And Satanic is carrying the gem now. So he can keep toggling the Radiance, make sure he doesn't get caught by that Carapace, and he'll always just know when Xingqiu is trying to make a move on him. Covering their bases, not giving an opportunity on XG to get the kill on this Lifestealer.
Yeah, they're just going to get out of here, the 2 of them. They know that they can't try and set up for some sort of surprise play from the high ground. They head to the top side, and they do have the 3 of them up here, and it is no one TPing in on his own. Still a very tough target to take down.
He's been pretty sneaky.
That's the Aghanims online now for Arme. So a little bit more potential in the team fights.
He probably wants, I think once he has that next item, then he can start to feel quite powerful, but the separation between him and the lifestealer actually just continues to grow. Went from 2K to 3K to 4, now it's at a 5K separation.
Yeah. I mean, I guess these sort of things happen, right? Especially when it's Satanic and he gets such a fast Radiance timing.
Very true. And his itemization, you know, we have to talk about it for Satanic. It's normal, but it's very, very good this game. He's going to have the AC finished up after the armlet. So
25 minutes
strong,
in.
Like super strong versus physical and magical.
Yeah, this is crazy stuff.
And all these wards are being taken out since he does have that gem picked up. AC, there it is. Breaking records.
Absolutely smashing the fastest timings. I'd imagine on pretty much most of these items with this sort of build-up. Just hasn't been slowed down one bit this game.
If anything, he's only been accelerated, it feels like, after that laning phase.
And there we go, Yendi. No surprises. It's not even close.
Nope.
Mate, looking towards the Bloodthorn next. Wants to make sure that if they do kind of get that jump in with Xingqiu, they are able to just focus the target and kill them off.
Ways away from it, though.
Radiant are scanning.
PVISION, I can definitely look to kind of calm things down, hold onto the map, set things up for the next Roshan.
It's a quick spawn, too. And definitely difficult for XG to contest that next Rosh as well. Is the BKB finished up yet for XM? I believe it is. So at the least he'll be able to potentially get that Requiem off unless he gets caught from either like a splitter interrupt or a black hole in particular.
And I think that they've got to go for it, right? If you're XG, you try and contest this next Rosh. You really want to sit back and have to try and defend high ground against an Aegis push from PVISION?
It feels like they do have to.
You got to get out there.
Especially after that situation we saw last time, right? Big team fight ultimates are good and all, but when there's an Aegis carrier, it does counteract that very heavily.
Well, they'll scout things out, PVISION, as they step up into the pit. Xtreme, what do they want to do about this? Doesn't look like they're making any initial moves, so maybe the call is indeed just going to be hold the high ground.
They still just they have lane issues again. Look at the positioning of these lanes. Bottom is shoved in, mid shoved in, top also. They're going to smoke it for an attempt.
Let's see if they can get there in time.
It's dying pretty quick.
I mean, you see the positioning from Ducalis, DM, and No One. They're all ready to interrupt any sort of initiation from Xtreme.
9 classes throwing down those remnants. XM.
Watching from the side, Xingqiu, ready with the step in, but Satanic's already out with the rage. Meatball comes down straight away, Xingqiu's gone. The sleep at the side, they managed to catch XM.
He's in trouble.
There in the spinner, will get the BKB off, but the Black Hole comes in, gets put to a stop with the Solar Guardian. They turn with the raises, they kill off the air.
The Rosh.
Satanic's got it. Aegis picked up by the Lifestealer. Armate has to be careful here how close he gets to the Lifestealer. Satanic's ready to step across. Chase down XXS as XG. They pretty much threw everything into the effort at the start of the fight. He'll go for the TPL, will make it away. XXS. They try there to interrupt Xtreme. They get a kill against the Enigma, but they don't manage to stop the Rosh and stop the Aegis going into the hands again of Satanic.
Attempt at the black hole, immediately cancelled. They'll be able to get that set up. XM survives though, which is at least a small silver lining, of course, for them, but Satanic, Aegis now coverage, next item soon on the horizon. It's difficult for them to actually get in and contest in any way. XXS getting a bit lucky to survive as see a Midas picked up for the Warlock. As you said, they want to take it to super late stages.
They do. Xtreme know that that's pretty much the only way out of this game. If they could somehow push this one later and later, they have been able to do it before. This time around in this situation definitely is going to be one of, if not the hardest, to try and stop PVISION from ending the game against them.
Yep.
But maybe if they can, we'll get to see the game get to a point where Arme can show us what the late game PL can do.
It would be so impressive to see, especially, you know, because of this ET, because of this Invoker as well too, that adds that extra complication for him. We will see if he can. As Satanic, he's been queuing up a couple different items. We'll see which way he does really look to go. The BKB looking to be that probably safest option so he doesn't get his mana burned completely and can't use the Rage of the Infest.
No, for sure, yeah. If he can sort of survive in these fights on the front lines through a Rage, a BKB, and a Rage, it's hard to not see most of the heroes just dying on XG.
Yeah, absolutely.
If the Lifestealer lives that long in a team fight.
9 class also getting pretty dangerously close to an Aghanim's, which is a pretty big deal this game since he's a support position. It can be very disruptive for these backline heroes.
Down bottom, No One.
XM.
Gonna find the setup. XM does have Xingqiu by his side. BKBs are out from both mids here, as they'll split for now.
They swap the gem over to the Invoker. Since there's no slot on Satanic, they're protecting no one now with that gem. So he can play safe. He can play a bit safer and a bit more aggressive in terms of pushing out these side lanes, since he'll know when the Nyx is on him. There's that BKB. Still with the Aegis for about 2.5 minutes.
9class. It's going to have the setup here with the Yules into the Remnant. So this is going to be a very dead X-Nova, trying to do his best to get towards that big item pickup, wants to work his way towards this refresher. It's going to take him a fair bit of time, though.
A very, very long time.
But does have, a lot of potential XP still, has the Grimoire, has his Midas ready to go, so...
PVISION might look to force a bit here again, since they still have 2 minutes on this Aegis. Lanes are in a good position for them to do so as well.
Yeah, they're in a perfect spot to just hit the high ground, see what happens.
Yeah, at least like force a reaction, in particular, from the side of XG. They're going to smoke in the back line. They have a banner at the ready. What do you do, XG? Glyph is forced.
See what they can do after this.
But the banner is down already, so that catapult is going to survive.
They're going to have everybody back up. The tier 3's gone. Satanic on towards the barracks. They'll try and lead in. They'll have the Yule set up into the Remnant on towards XM.
The Raxes are dying.
Can they do anything? The rage comes out for Satanic as he stands his ground, cleans up the full set top. They couldn't do anything to stop them. They're going to try now, looking towards the Void Spirit. Pike gets popped, the Infest comes in as well. They're able to keep 9class easily alive.
Too scared to commit for the fight. If they lose that fight, it's probably just the game, so just try to poke and prod. But the Rax, PVISION just comes in and claims it. Big amount of gold acquired. As you said, the Ags now for 9class is about to be finished. DM, he's about to have a blink now too with that BKB after having the aura, so might find the angles for these black holes soon, even versus the double BKB piercing disables.
Oh, for sure. I mean, at the least, forces out these sort of saves to come out immediately at the start of the fight, kind of leaving the area then free for Satanic to clean up in the longer drawn-out team fight.
I swear they just can never get the lanes out, Owen. Every time I've looked, completely shoved on the side of XG.
Another tier 3 falling.
It's just Creeps this time taking it out.
Ame trying to lead in. Can't touch Satanic quite now.
30 seconds.
Just burned down to the Radiance.
Still 30 seconds on the Aegis. They're getting so much done. Yeah, big items coming out, as we said. Full. Well, Lotus Orb soon being picked up for Ducalis. I think a Shiva's soon finished up, so starting to get more and more answers for that PL. Once that Shiva's comes out for no one, it's a fantastic option just to be able to identify which PL is real at all times, too. XG, as you said, waiting and waiting toward that later stages, but how much is it going to benefit them with how far ahead PVISION continues to climb?
Now, Ame is close to having the Bloodthorn.
Okay.
But then finding the opportunity to be able to weave in and out of these team fights.
Also playing into BKB, Rage, another Rage if he doesn't get the kill during that initial Bloodthorn. Yeah, very difficult. And it's only really him doing the damage, it feels like now at this point, with that single target. There's a lot of targets he's got to go through. We've been talking about Satanic, but also no one is very high on that net worth, as we see after getting that shard too. He is a problem. Oh, and they're kind of trapped in their base. Look at this. It feels like it's been a long time that they haven't been able to come outside.
All they can do is just sort of set up and make sure that when Ame steps out to get farm, he's not going to be jumped.
Yeah, true. They have not been able to find any combos with the Vendetta plus that Solar Guardian in 30 minutes with the way that start happened.
And we'll see what Ame looks towards next. He's going to try and get the shard, so he just continues to get these little sort of incremental steps forward in his item build.
He's going to have
just
to...
anything he can get together before that big team fight is forced against him.
He's going to have to be so tricky in the fights because he's super fragile, it still feels like, with this itemization. It's a very aggressive build he's gone for.
And I like this build as well from Satanic. Yeah,
Yep.
going for the late game Maelstrom into the Mjolnir just to throw something else into the mix, which it's just going to give these illusions from PL not a chance to survive in a team fight. They're going to get cleared out so quickly.
I can just throw it on himself, run in, and yeah, it'll all die. Sure, it's been nerfed versus illusions, as we do know, in this last 7.39D, but it is still pretty effective when you are ahead in terms of net worth like this. Yeah, gets rid of the armlet. That is a pretty nice anti-PL inventory.
Yeah, he's massive. PVISION probably just going to sit back, look for the next Roshan.
Does feel like it. They have complete control of the map. They're farming everything.
They know that there's pretty much no threat of Xtreme coming out to find them, even though Xtreme is trying to go for this smoke.
Maybe just claiming their shrine, just trying to get something out of the map. Yeah, crazy amounts of farm. 9 class is getting infested up, so it looks like perhaps PVISION is going to look for a move if they do suspect them starting to get outside at all.
PVISION on the way over. 9 class.
Jinkyu.
They look for the setup, but Jinkyu is equipped with the Spike Carapace. Will be able to get away with the Vendetta as he scurries up to the high ground.
The second XG gets outside, though, immediately forced back into their base within a split second. No one.
Right, Jinkyu's got his eyes on him. He's going to try for the setup. Straight away the stun into the Requiem, but it's not enough. No one's able to put the BKB. Run away. In fact, he's ready to run back at them. As XM and Jinkyu have to back off to the side. They've caught Arme. He's caught in the random. Will be able to get out away from the Deafening Blast in time, but Satanic's going to try and chase on forward. They'll sneak away with the Invis. So getting out, but only just. I mean, just continue to show how terrifying these team fights are for Arme to try and get in on.
Not carrying a gem on any of the heroes, just carrying a bunch of dusts. Maybe 9 class will bring it out soon, but the 2 cores don't have it there. Okay, it's coming on the courier now for no one. That's a lot used there from XG. That's their Requiem, that's their Solar Guardian. PVISION used nothing.
They're ready to push it. DM ready to make that jump, of course, with the Black Hole at the ready.
Jinkyu.
He's going to get caught out here, burnt down low. He'll survive, but only just here thanks to the Shadow Word of X-Nova.
Tied to that full combo. Satanic. Do they want to keep pushing here?
Let's have a look, because potential Roche will be pretty soon.
They'll get the tower. Spending all their gold, backing up. Roche, about 30 seconds. We saw the Requiem combo with the Nyx Assassin. They go on the Invoker, but something about... I actually haven't mentioned this much this tournament, but something about Invoker, of course, since he's one of those super high int heroes, his magic resist is also high. I think he got piped at the end of it too, and it didn't even do half of his HP.
It was, yeah, but close to half his HP.
Yeah,
they didn't quite get the perfect position, of course, getting as close as they could to him, but even if they did, I don't think it was killing him.
No, I don't think so. Also difficult to ever get that catch there, as we said, you know, he didn't have the gem this time, but I imagine he's going to start carrying it pretty soon on that Invoker again. As Roche, it is up, PVISION in the pit.
And XG, I mean, they've pretty much just got to take this time to try and get Arme out on the map so he can work towards his next item.
His growth is just not really there. Courier gets grabbed as well, XXS.
That's a rough one. He would have had
the refresher.
He would have had the money for the full refresher on the Dawn, but now that's going to be taken out of the game for nearly 3 minutes.
Roche.
I mean, they are approaching. XG, can they time this?
Cataclysm to scout.
It's going to scout everything. As they know what's up, Arme's trying to step up, but they cannot get into the pit. Satanic's going to be able to finish up. Jinkyu steps up. Won't be able to stop them from getting the pickups and the kill, though. PVISION get everything again.
Uncontested. They just can't walk in. XG's too scared to look for that fight. And now it's a refresher shard as well that they can give either to the Enigma or the Invoker if they want, or even maybe to the Lifestealer if he just wants to have BKB Rage, BKB Rage. Could just look to close up the racks in particular with
I think so. Yeah, because no one's going to have another slot complete. He goes to the Eon Disc, so even now, if they do get this sort of setup to try and blow him up with the Requiem, it's just not going to happen. 9 class in the mid, look for the setup. They'll catch Jinkyu. Arme is going to try and step back in, but he's got to be careful. DM coming out from the BKB. The Black Hole will be put to stop with the Solar Guardian. They'll kill DM off. But can they now get out of the fight? XG is XM. It's going to be split from the rest of the team. He's out. Dead for 80. We'll see 9 class fall, so XG at least able to get a second kill. But can Jinkyu get out of this? The meatballs come down. Jinkyu's gone.
These fights are impossible. Even there where they kind of land most of the spells in decent unison, PVISION just too far ahead. They'll kill, you know, the support, but,
but they just can't touch
Satanic.
They absolutely cannot.
Arme goes in and immediately has to retreat every single time because he just gets burnt down so quickly. Basher now picked up. But in terms of his actual standing toe-to-toe with any of these heroes on PVISION, it's just not the case. As the racks, there's no glyph.
Arme tries to step up here with a tornado. Into the Meteor on the Deafening Blast. He's in pretty much at like 10% HP. He's got to run. He has to get back. Sunstrike's going to be thrown in, doesn't connect, but the space is there for PVISION to push on, take out the bottom set of barracks, and definitely continue to move over towards the mid. Still 3 minutes on this Aegis. XG, if they got anything left in the tank to be able to sort of stop this.
That's Megas.
Arme's going to look for no one. Straight away, going for the backlines, but the Eon Disc is there. Solar Guardian will connect. Arme trying to get back in over towards the Invoker, but no one's able to step away. Arme has to keep his distance once more from Satanic.
He just has to dance and run away. Can't actually stick on targets. Megas are claimed. All of PVISION's back up. Still in Aegis for 3 minutes as well on Satanic, and another item finished up. The overwhelming blink coming out on that courier very soon.
Yeah, PVISION, they've certainly made this game one look pretty easy, folks, so far.
I mean, it's all from these lanes in particular, right? Top lane went, I think, as good as you could have ever asked for, maybe even better, keeping the Dawnbreaker completely behind. Bottom lane, Enigma was unpunished, untouched, and mid lane, no one stood his own. He stood tall versus that Shadow Fiend. Every move is hit, and Satanic, as you said, a flawless game, breaking records.
And coming in with that last pick, it really caught them by surprise, or at least presented something that XG just did not have an answer for.
Not
seemingly in this game so far.
It seems like there wasn't many answers for a lot of things. As PVISION,
Satanic's in. Xtreme at least does have the luxury of buyback.
Whittling down the towers.
Next XS through Courier now respawning, so he does have the refresher at least.
Still 100 seconds on this Aegis.
PVISION onto the tier 4s. I mean, they jump, they do get the opening stun on the Satanic, but not the chain stun. He's able to get the rage off. They couldn't lock him down. He turns over towards Arme. Arme has to run. Will be able to manage off the open wound slow, so he'll get back to the fountain.
The buildings, though.
Xtreme coming in with a buyback. Does have the golem ready to drop. If they can find some sort of opportunity to try for a fight. Xinqiu's in, but immediate rage reaction there from Satanic. Arme tries to step forward, the silence catches him. Arme's gone. No buyback on him. The Ancient's exposed. PVISION ready to close up this game one. DM will close it up with a black hole. Cataclysm gets put to a stop, but they will not be stopped in closing up this game. The fortification buying them only a few more seconds in this game one XG, as they will lose against PVISION, coming in a dominating fashion at the start of this series. Fogged.
This was not close.
They looked unstoppable.
Yeah, this was not close. PVISION showing, even if they don't have their Monkey King and their Slark, they have ways to play. The passive style from XG did not work this time, trying to play this farm game for the Phantom Lancer, but he never could get online. He never could even come close to that net worth of Satanic, who he just accelerated so massively. And you have to look at this top lane, right? You have to look at XXS and GQ
just because of how much we've come to expect from them, right?
Exactly.
And how much we've seen from that top lane of XG in so many of the series in this TI. They weren't able to perform here with these heroes. Maybe sort of the Nyx Assassin, something a little too risky. We just don't see it a lot, and maybe for good reason. A tough game one here for XG as PVISION dominate and get the victory.
Expectations are high, but the pressure is even higher, and we had PVISION stepping up to the plate here. It felt like just a significant outdraft. The way that they were able to play everything and ensure that there was never a team fight that was enabled from Xtreme Gaming. In fact, there wasn't really any team fight at all at cost.
Yeah, pretty much never happened. I think this top lane that they did play, Dawnbreaker getting completely shut down, pretty much set the tempo of the game. We said that Nyx Assassin is going to need to be the playmaker for the team, needs to be in, needs to be scouting things out, trying to set things up for the Dawnbreaker, who was really playing from behind throughout the whole game. Not an easy game for him by any means. And also mid lane, I think no one did a very good job. And then you had the Enigma in the bottom lane, who was kind of farming. And I really love the timings coming out from PVISION in this game, understanding their own timings, going for this double dominator, drums from the Invoker, plus you have Forge Spirits, and you also have Pipe and Enigma. Very difficult fights to take for Xtreme Gaming.
Yeah, we're looking at some of the replays here of just how unstoppable PVISION were. We got to give credit where credit is due. Satanic just having a fantastic one, and this Void Spirit on a position 4, was it going to work out? Well, yeah, we got our answer.
Yeah, this was very good. I'm definitely a believer in the build. I think I've seen him do this in pro-level pubs in the past few months. It's not something that's completely new for him. It's just that I think they didn't feel like they had it completely figured out, and for this tournament, obviously it's the International. This is where he had to figure out how to play this hero, and I think 9+ did an excellent job. He went for the facet where you get the extra remnants when you press W. That's not a very common thing that you see for Void Spirits. It's almost always the other facet where you get the pure damage shield, but what he was doing in the game was the normal stuff. He was running around, getting watchers, being annoying, setting things up with wards, dewarding vision. So they've definitely